Keep it up. I haven't found the button yet. It's on!
I was there. Just
on?
recently. It was on.
It was on.
You know, until that live stream, I thought that was at Hollywood Studios. Am I bad for that?
Next time you go back, seriously, Mike, if you're with another person, can you reenact that with the other person recording and you do that and we can swap that out?
We will try to do that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the November 23rd edition of Disney Parks Talk Live, the show in which we talk about the week in Disney park news. And I don't think we've ever done this show when it's been a slow week, and this week is no exception. Very much to talk about. Joining me today as we go all around the world will be myself, Doobie Mosley, the co-founder of Laughing Place, my wife, Rebecca, the other co-founder of Laughing Place. Down there is Mike Celestino. I love it when you say your title.
When you said joining me today is myself, I thought you were saying my name, and I was like ready to...
I did too.
Myself-Celestino, yes.
Was my title? I think I am lead Southern California reporter and editorial director for Star Wars content.
That's why you have to say it. Okay. And then surprising us with a last-minute fill-in today. Jeremiah is usually in this position, but he is off on assignment. So we have Tony Betty, who thankfully dressed up for the occasion. Hi, Tony.
Hi, guys.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. For those that don't know, Tony Betty is maybe 80% the Disney World expert that Jeremiah is, which if you know Jeremiah is pretty darn good. So it's only a slight drop off for Tony. Before we begin, we'd like to remind you that we are live. Do us a favor. Use those comments, ask us questions, give your opinions on things. We love for this to be interactive. Also, do us a favor and click the thumbs up. That helps a lot for YouTube and the like to know that you appreciate us. Subscribe to us, however you're watching us. Ring-a-dingy the bell so that they know that this is a channel they should tell all Disney fans about. With that, let's get started today with some news that I don't think sad is necessarily the right word, but certainly sad would be the right word. And that is the... there's like sad and there's sad.
I gotcha. So, I understand what you mean.
It's not sad news. It's sad news.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Imagineer, one of the Imagineering favorites, maybe the second most famous Imagineer of all these days after Tony Baxter of our era. Joe Rohde announced his retirement today. It was announced by Walt Disney Imagineering.
Did we forget about Steve Barnes?
It was announced by Walt Disney Imagineering and also announced on his own Instagram page. So I've not had the opportunity to meet Joe Rohde. I know he's a fan favorite. A lot of people have met him in the parks and such. I've never even, I don't believe, even been able to say hi to him, which is kind of surprising when I think about it. But I know perhaps some of you have. Mike, did you ever have the opportunity to talk to Mr. Rohde?
Yes, I've interviewed Mr. Joe Rohde when I was working for a competing theme park news website. Very kind gentleman, very forthcoming with information and very talented, and I've appreciated so much of his work over the years, and I'll be sad to see him go.
I'll be back.
Hi, Doobie.
I haven't actually had the opportunity to interview him that I can recall, but I did actually run into him once just randomly at Disney's Animal Kingdom. He was busy hosting people. So I didn't get to speak to him directly, but I did get to kind of eavesdrop a little bit as the group moved past. And he's a storyteller, right? I mean, that's when I think of Joe Rohde, I think of storytelling. I saw him give a presentation on the development of Disney's Animal Kingdom one time in the Wild Theater, Wild in the
Theater in the Wild.
Wild. Yeah, that's it. Theater in the Wild. I saw him speak there.
When was that? Was that like a D23 thing?
That was actually no. It was before D23 existed. It was for one of the park anniversaries of Animal Kingdom, and they had like a little event at Rope Drop by the Tree of Life, and then later in the day, mid morning, they had this panel discussion where he talked about the development of it. And then another thing that I encountered over the years was when Expedition Everest came about, he actually created this like little scrapbook of their trip to in development of the attraction. And it was really neat to see just the images that he and others on his team took and little footnotes and everything, just his attention to detail and desire to introduce people maybe to places that they wouldn't be able to travel on their own, but do it in such a way that you felt like you'd been there. He didn't try to, I don't want to say Disney-fy, because Main Street is kind of a cleaned up version of things. I feel like with Animal Kingdom, they sought a more authentic experience as opposed to kind of, Hollywood Studios where it's the Hollywood that never existed. How about you, Tony? Sorry, I didn't let you talk.
No, you're fine. I don't have a personal story to tell. I never met him in person. My first real encounter with him was the Captain EO pre-show, and that was via video when you could see him in the background with his giant stash and beard, kind of similar to what the picture just was. But I've always loved Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom probably just after Epcot's my favorite Disney World park. Sorry, Magic Kingdom Studios, but that's. I kind of have a few issues with the way he usually would say I regarding Animal Kingdom, because it was more than just him. But he is definitely the lead designer for that park, and it shows. I'm sad for Disney fans because with his retirement now, right? He'll be doing other projects, but I'm excited to see what he's going to do next because, like I say, his Instagram is a dynamic follow, his Twitter is a dynamic follow. So I'm excited to see. Now that he isn't constrained by his Disney obligations or his Disney projects, where that creativity will lead him and what we will be able to experience in the years ahead. So this goes back to what Disney said, or not to Disney, Doobie said about it's sad. It's sad because he's not with the Disney company anymore. But he didn't say he's done working. He's just not with Walt Disney Imagineering. So I don't think we've seen the last of Joe Rohde, and that's exciting to me.
So. Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Celestino.
I have another quick personal story about Joe Rohde that I just remembered because I had totally forgotten about this. But I attended a Ryman Arts event for Kevin Feige. They were giving him like some kind of award. He was like Person of the Year for Ryman Arts, and Laughing Place sent me to cover it. And I was standing at a table waiting for the thing to start, the presentation to start. And I had worn, I wanted to wear like a Marvel pin or whatever on my lapel because it was like a dress up thing and I had to wear a suit. And I wore a pin that I got from the grand opening of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. And it's a little circular pin with Rocket Raccoon's paw print on it. And I was standing at the table just waiting there. And a lady struck up a conversation with me and she's like, "Oh, what's your pin?" And I was like, "Oh, this is Rocket Raccoon's paw print. It was from the Guardians attraction opening down at Disneyland Resort." And she's like, "Oh, my husband worked on that." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Your husband's an Imagineer?" And she's like, Yeah, Joe Rohde." And then like we got talking, and she used to be an Imagineer as well, which I didn't know. I don't know if you guys knew that, but we talked for a long while. So I had this long conversation with Joe Rohde's wife, and then like eventually he came up. He was off talking to other people, and he came up and like joined the conversation. And then very briefly he chatted with me, and then when he left, he like I remember he like patted me on the back. So I like have a very fond memory of interacting with me with him at that event.
Have you washed your back since?
Oh, stop.
So my biggest, because I talk about how there's various levels of sadness, and Animal Kingdom's not my favorite park. I am a big fan of Joe Rohde, though I can recognize the quality that it is. It's just not for me. What really makes me the most sad about this is he was the guy that was working on Lighthouse Point, Disney's next private island. And dang it, I love a Disney cruise, and I love a private island, and I was really looking forward to Joe Rohde's Lighthouse Point.
That was his new project. Like, that was his big one.
That was his big one. And I realize that may have never come to be anyway with this whole situation we're in, but I was looking forward to Joe Rohde taking all of that skill, the skill to create what many people consider the greatest theme park of all time, and putting it to one little tiny island that I would get to go to. So that's
part of an island, even smaller.
I know. That's part of it.
So, but the one part that is not disappointing me is I always had trouble spelling his name right and messed it up tons of times. So I'm glad that I don't have to worry about that.
It took me until working at Laughing Place to realize that it's because I would always say Rohde, Rhode.
Right.
And then the fact that he started a YouTube series, which we have links to through laughingplace.com, the Roadies or the Roadies Less Traveled, it like kind of encourages that nomenclature, but it's definitely Rohde.
So if you want to keep in touch, if you want to keep tabs on Joe Rohde, I'm not sure you'll keep in touch. I don't know. Too much interaction.
He might respond.
He does seem
Yeah,
like
he
he responds to people.
Yeah. Good point. I've seen that many times. You can find him on Instagram. He is Joe Rohde, Joerohde, and check him out.
He's on Twitter too, because I know he tweeted from the Natural History Museum, I believe, in New York, a giant animatronic life-size T-Rex, and he made the comment, "So stunning when large animatronics work properly," or something like that. And I was like,
"Ouch,
Joe, that's yours, dude. Go back and do something."
This is while he was still working for the company.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what we get now.
That'll be fun.
He retires, by the way, on January 4th of next year. 40 years with Walt Disney Imagineering. I think it might be safe to say he will be a Disney legend someday.
Yeah, I was doing the research for the article earlier, and I'm like, he's not?
That surprises me to hear that he's not already as well.
They usually do it for within the company. I mean, not like stars and stuff, but just people within the company. They usually do it after they retire. Like Tony Baxter was after retirement. They don't usually do that while you're still working because they need to walk around with the with the Disney Legend trophy in the office, and other people are like staring at you, going, "Excuse me." It's better just to wait till they're not coming to work every day anymore. No, that's the way that tends to work. All right, the other big news that came out today. There were two big stories today, and that is, and this is where Tony gets to shine.
Oh yeah,
train service could be coming to Disney Springs. Will be coming if you believe.
Could be, will be coming.
But when it comes to public works, you never really know until it happens.
True, because this was the Virgin train at one point, the Virgin, like airlines, Virgin everything. But now it's Brightline. They dropped the Virgin name, so
go for it.
So that's coming to Disney Springs.
When, Tony?
Yeah, we pretty much just said it. 2022, I believe, is what the timeline says.
Yes, on track. They did in 2022. On track.
It also is going to stop it starts in South Florida, down in Miami, and then comes up to the airport, the Orlando International Airport, which I know there's great debate over what the airport code for that is. It is not OIA. It is MCO.
Code.
There is no debate over the code.
The code is MCO.
You try booking a trip out of OIA and see how that goes.
Yeah.
While I agree with that, some fellow stars in Slack were very confused. What do they mean? And then it's going to go further, I believe, to Tampa, right? Can we zoom in on that map a little bit?
Yeah.
Sure. It's
yes,
right
it
there.
will. It will go to Tampa.
A very little bit.
With the stop at Disney in between, and it's going to Disney Springs. I know at one point there was a rumor that it was going to the Transportation and Ticket Center also, which is a cool idea, but also not really because that's just the Magic Kingdom parking. But no, it's going to go to Disney Springs.
I think that makes the most sense.
This is exciting for. This is exciting as far as like traveling to the resort, because I have friends who I think of when I heard this announcement, I thought of them. They aren't Magical Express fans, and they tend to stay at the resort hotels right there by Disney Springs. And so I thought, well,
they'll love this.
Yeah, this would be beautiful. Yeah.
What I'm excited to see, because I've already seen this at Disney Springs to kind of begin with, you'll get a lot of people like to and fro the airport. And you'll see them carrying their luggage around Disney Springs and everything like that. And I feel like that's just going to amplify this. And then they'll catch the regular resort bus from Disney Springs with all their garb. And then I'm glad at Co-op they used to have the travel and adventure gear store tag, and they had a fake airport check-in desk that everybody would get confused with. So I'm very glad that's gone for them, because once this train comes there, that would be nonstop.
I am interested to see how Disney is able to, and if they're able to facilitate baggage. With this being a possibility, I'm interested to see if that'll change the way that Disney handles baggage. Like right now, for example, my understanding is with Magical Express, because of the current climate, the current COVID scenario, is that people were not. I can't speak to today, but they had not been able to get their bags like totally taken to the hotel magically. They would get them from baggage claim, take them to the bus, and then the bus would transport them, as opposed to what we were used to having had happen with, the bags would magically appear in your room. But now with this train scenario, I'm interested to see if that will lead them to reevaluate or reconstruct the Magical Express dynamic in any way. But like we've said, this is all if this happens 2022.
It even says right here, this is conditioned on Brightline satisfaction of certain obligations, including obtaining all necessary government approval. So let us all remember that Westcott was once an approved project. And we got DCA.
I'm curious to see, because I don't know what the rates on this train are going to be or anything like that. You guys are up in the Bay Area. When BART expanded, it would carry different... what's the word I'm looking for?
Fro?
What's that? Like different like elements from different neighborhoods further out?
Stop.
Okay. Because Miami up here would be a lot more accessible. So
that is going to be nice. That it will make it much easier for Southern Florida to make their way up to the Disney resort, and vice versa. People in the Orlando area who are vacationing there will have this means of transport without a lot of additional steps. Because anytime you can make transport easier, you extend where people are willing to you remove those barriers and people are more willing to travel.
Yeah.
And speaking of DCA, which I was, or someone stepped on my segue.
Sorry. When did we talk about California Adventure?
Remember, at one time, Westcott was approved.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And speaking of DCA, Mike Celestino, not to be confused with myself, had the opportunity to visit there as Buena Vista Street. I guess technically you visited downtown Disney. It just happened to be a part of it located in DCA. Mike, how was it? Just first, before you even show any pictures, what did it feel like to walk through that gate?
I think I did get a little emotional being back in a Disney park for the first time in 8 months after going on a near weekly basis for about 5 years. So that experience was a little emotional for me. And I think once we got in and got settled, I thought it was a very pleasant overall experience, and they did a great job at DCA and Buena Vista Street of enforcing the physical distancing and enforcing all the other safety regulations and stuff. So I was very impressed with that once you step through the gate. And I think that they were trying to prove that they can open at least part of the park safely to the state and everybody who was watching, because obviously this is a very high profile portion of reopening for Disneyland Resort. So I had a really good day overall. It did take longer than I would have liked from me personally to get into the park that morning, but we covered that during the live stream if you want to go and watch that. But once I got in, it was a very pleasant experience.
I know you talked about the challenge you faced getting in and how it was different depending on which side of the Esplanade you lined up on. Do you know if that's been resolved since then, or how that's been resolved?
I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't looked into it. I haven't had time to check, and I haven't been back. So I guess I'll be back there on Tuesday next week. So we'll find out then, maybe. I'm not sure if our CEO wants me to try going back in there.
Why not? So this is I'm going to say this is Buena Vista Street, but I guess technically it's not. But so talk about just what was available. Where could you go? What could you do while you were in there?
Yeah. So walking in, you can walk down Buena Vista Street to the literal Carthay Circle, the circle there in the middle. You could go right down Grizzly. What's it called? Grizzly Peak Airfield now. Yep. Yeah. And that path stops right by that popcorn cart by the little biplane that's there. what's that airplane called? I don't know. So
Have a
you
name?
can't.
I don't think it
I
has
don't
a
know.
name. I'm sure it has at some point.
Right. You can't continue around the path toward Grizzly River Run. So that's as far as you can go there. You can walk basically past the show building for Soarin'. That's where the path ends on that side. And then you can walk further down the path toward Pixar Pier, but that path gets cut off by a rope at the Blue Sky Cellar down that side. So you can see right into Cars Land. You can see over to Pixar Pier. You can see Incredicoaster and the Mickey's, Pixar Pal around. And you can enjoy the space in that path. They've got tables and stuff set up. Again, distance for people to enjoy that. It's great. One of my favorite moments was getting to stand and enjoy the area around the big waterfall there coming down from Grizzly Peak on that side. Really, really nice. Grizzly Falls, is that what they call that side?
Yes.
And then on the Hollywood Land side, you can go down, is that Sunset Boulevard?
Hollywood
Boulevard until this point right there. You can see the rope cutting you off before off the page and the animation building there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's a good amount of space, and they did it. Like I said, they did a great job of limiting the capacity. It didn't ever feel crowded. The biggest crowds that we encountered were the people lining up on either side of Buena Vista Street trying to get into the shops, because I think in the earlier parts of the day, people were trying to enjoy the outdoor areas, and then as time went on, more and more people wanted to go shopping, and then the lines did start to form down the east and west sides of Buena Vista Street itself. So those were the really only like gatherings of people that we saw. Otherwise, it was nice and spaced out. And then, of course, the Carthay Circle restaurant was open, and they had expanded the outdoor seating there, and Smoke Jumpers Grill was also open with more outdoor seating expanded into the queue area for Soarin'.
I think it's interesting you talk about the stores having the queues, because, of course, they have to capacity limit the stores as well as the land as a whole.
Yes.
So look inside the stores, as we can see here. I mean, they're clearly not at all busy inside, and that's the whole reason they do it, so that once you get into the indoor area, you can have a nice, comfortable, safe shopping environment. So they seem to be doing a really good job of that.
That is true. The stores were very sparsely populated with people.
But even the outside, so the waits can be quite long to get in, and they're using the virtual queuing system. So you virtual queue with your app, Mike, or do you have to show up there?
So you do have to show up to get the QR code. I don't think if you went to that URL or anything, I don't think you'd be able to do it unless you were there on property.
Okay.
But once you're in through security, you scan the QR code on a sign, and it brings you to the URL where you join the virtual queue. When I joined after coming through security and everything, I think it was like just after 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I was told that there were 250 groups in front of me, and it took me several hours after that.
You got in about 1:30. We started the stream.
1:30. Yeah, that's right. Because we started the live stream at 1:30. But as we said in the live stream, my wife had joined the queue all the way on the other side of the resort, on the west side of the resort by Disneyland Hotel. She joined that queue half an hour after I lined up on Harbor Boulevard, and she ended up getting into DCA immediately, like as soon as they let in the crowd. So there's a flaw in that system, but I would imagine that was unique probably to either opening day or opening weekend, because so many people wanted to be first. There were a lot of people lined up from 4 a.m. at Harbor Boulevard, so things were unfairly weighted in that side, I think.
And much like the stores, so they have the virtual queue to get into into Buena Vista Street, part of downtown Disney itself. And then, but then once you're in, as you talked about, it's a very safe feeling. There is plenty of space inside. It was fun doing that live stream with you, because in your mind, DCA is reopened for the first time in months. This place is going to be packed, and it was on the outside. But inside, I mean, it might as well have been DCA's opening day. It was so empty in there.
Yeah.
And then you missed the Carthay Circle. I just wanted to get a good picture because I dream of eating outdoors at Carthay Circle like this. And
yeah, that's not offered normally, right?
the outdoor, no.
Yeah, I would go right now just for that.
Yeah, and that has a similar virtual queue system, except you do have to show up at the restaurant and get your name on the virtual queue with the cast member there, and then they'll page you when it's time to yum yum. And I believe they release some in the mornings, and then they release some more in the afternoon. Will be determined, right? That's what we.
Yes, I think it was. I think it was 10:30 a.m. and the second batch was 2:30 p.m.
Much like another thing.
Yeah,
somewhere,
like Rise.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, like Rise at Studios.
So, which is why Tony apparently would never eat there because that is no way to go to a restaurant.
So it's
Well, they would
Just the
kind of
fact
give you.
that it would
No, they give
remind
you
him of it.
They give you an estimated time to come back, though.
yeah.
Rise just kind of goes, well, let's hope.
Subtle difference there. Tony, wrong person. Mike,
Okay.
wrong person. Sorry. So one thing we found out that they did during the midst of this downtime was they spruced up the partner statue and the storyteller statue at DCA. Were you able to see the storyteller statue at DCA, and did it look spruce?
Yeah, it looked really nice. I mean, would I have noticed a big difference if somebody hadn't told me that they had refurbished it? I don't know, but it did look nice and shiny for sure.
Those are the little details Disney is famous for. You don't necessarily notice it when it happens, but over time you kind of notice it if it doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, speaking of little details, I did want to say that being limited to just sticking around that front section of the park, and we did the live stream for like an hour and a half walking around there, I was noticing all sorts of details that I never would have stopped and appreciated before because you're always heading off to, go on attractions and explore the rest of the park and stuff. So it's actually a great opportunity if you go down there and have some time to wander around. Just go into all the little corners and look at all the mosaics and the little signs and details that you can find all over the place. It's a cool area.
It is. I know it's not Tony would prefer to see it with postcards and a giant sun at the end and a fountain, but it is a cool area. Right, Tony?
I love Buena Vista Street, actually. I like that.
I'm 50-50.
Like, I miss the letters, but the only thing I miss is, like, in terms of, I wish that was still the same, was the Golden Gate Bridge, but
I miss
it wouldn't fit, so
Buena Vista Street
I get it.
Beautiful. I love Buena Vista Street, but the original DCA was so unique. Not that you can put a modifier on unique, with the postcards on the side and the heliostats and the sun thing and the fountain in front of the sun thing was one of the very cool fountain.
One thing Buena Vista Street doesn't get a lot of credit for, though, BGM, the background music of Buena Vista Street, some of the best in the park.
Whoa!
No, that was not, no. And the problem with classic DCA for me was that I really loved what was in front of the turnstiles, and I really loved the sun, but kind of what was in between there, not a big fan. Not disappointed.
You didn't like the greeting from California with the giant glasses?
No, and the train. No, it was okay. I mean, it was nice. You're wrong. It was okay, but I prefer.
I did like the train.
Yeah, I prefer what's here now.
Yeah,
but I do miss that postcard entrance.
Did you see Chugga Chugga Choo Choo?
Many times.
Okay.
Not as many times as Ben, but I have seen it many times.
Hi, Gio. I'm so sorry you went to McDonald's and you did not get the new toy. We should show those. That's theme park related. There's one of them. That's
Mission Space.
Our pair right there.
No,
okay.
Space.
It's Mission Space.
Mission Space.
He's mocking me. He's going, you can't ride this.
I had the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat the other day. I went to my McDonald's and I said, "Can I buy the toys individually?" And they're like, "Sure, no problem." They said, "Okay, I'll take each one that you have," and they only had one.
Which one?
The one we already had too.
Goofy in the train.
Okay.
Like,
that's the first one, and then they all connect.
That was a disappointment.
Yeah, so we don't have any others, but no, we have Mission Space Mickey now.
Yes.
We are on the hunt for Dinosaur Mini, or CTX Mini.
Apparently that's the one out here right now. So if I get one and then I get extras, I'll send them your way.
We've already received an offer from Nick Morgan. Nick Morgan heard that we were wanting
saving on postage. Thank you, Nick. All right.
For those who don't know,
speaking of postage, Mike, I got the package today. By the way, thank you.
Oh, terrific! Finally, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, we have Slack for that.
So Happy Meal toys right now are celebrating Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's why we're talking about McDonald's toys, and they're all different kinds of ride vehicles. You have Donald Duck in a teacup. You have Minnie Mouse in a dinosaur rover. You have Pluto skippering a Jungle Cruise boat. You also have Mickey in the Tower of Terror ride at the top of Tower Hotel. At the top of the Tower of Terror. And one of the things I like about this is it says Hollywood Terror Hotel on it.
I really want the Daisy Soren one personally.
Does Mickey move? Like, is there a wheel on the bottom like there is with the Goofy engineer?
For Mickey?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. There is, but all it does, and I don't know if you can see it, is twist the exhaust on the rocket.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cute, though.
This one's awesome. I know this is Mike's favorite character. You looking forward to this, Mike?
Yeah, I like that one. I like when Donald is either angry or unhappy. I don't like merchandise where Donald
always
looks happy, which is more frequent than you would guess.
Okay.
Because he's famously unhappy as a character.
According to Disneyland 155, Pluto, the Jungle Cruise, it goes up and down. So I'm intrigued to see what kind of motion the various characters have on these things, because like Goofy's is like choo choo choo.
I know Daisy's kind of like circles Spaceship Earth or something like that. Yeah,
that's the one I'm most on the hunt for myself. Is the Soren ride vehicle. I think that one.
I like it because it's kind of 2 for 1 because you get Spaceship Earth also and Minnie, or not Minnie, Daisy.
This is when it's very painful to no longer live driving distance from the berm, because I know that I would grab my toys and go take pictures with them and track it in the background. But I will not be able to do that as it is more away.
Cruise Instagram for them, because I can tell you there's a ton of those from out here.
I'm sure, but those aren't.
So I know they're not yours. Sorry, I know them. I get it.
If you could do that,
yes,
it'd be kind of hard now because you have to only do one park a day.
Oh.
However, Tony, you want to talk about this? Thank you very much. That segue.
That was the best one. That was the best one. Park hopping is coming back at the beginning of next year to Walt Disney World. You're not just limited to one park every day anymore. But asterisk, you do still have to have a park reservation for the first park you plan on going to, and then at 2:00 in the afternoon, depending on availability, you could then hop to another park.
And they do say that 2:00 is definitely depending on availability, meaning it could be later, it could be not at all, or it could be earlier. So, depending on what's happening that day in the parks. They said it could even be earlier. They have not said you can only hop to one other park because they haven't said it.
That is correct.
That's not the case, that you can multi-park hop.
They haven't outwardly said that, but they didn't say they can't. So it just says after 2:00 based on availability. And
the availability will be shown in the app. So you will. That's just exciting. Park hopping is coming back. Yep. That's the way regulars go to the park. No one spends an entire day at one park. You spend most of the day at one park, and then you go eat at Epcot. Everybody knows that. And now that's back.
I'm excited.
That's exciting, and I know Mike's excited because Mike loves to eat at Epcot.
Can I elaborate on what our favorite topic is to bring up with me?
Sure.
So what that also means is you cannot start your day at Epcot and then go to Hollywood Studios to ride Rise of the Resistance, because by 2:00 in the afternoon, most of the reservations are already gone. And it's also specifically stated that you have to have your first park be Studios to even access the boarding groups.
But you can go to Studios, get your boarding group, and then go hang out on the Skyliner and go to Epcot and then come back to ride.
In theory.
That's a long way to go. That's
theory.
Taking a chance.
You still have to be back in time to ride.
Nevertheless, between the increase to 35% capacity, we are just inching.
Oh, and some additional restaurants opening up.
Oh, that's right.
Like the return of Crystal Palace is coming back.
Tomorrowland Terrace.
I was trying to remember which one. Tomorrowland Terrace as well.
Mm-hmm. Crystal Palace, Tomorrowland Terrace. There was one more.
I
still want to call it the Noodle Station, but it's not the Noodle Station anymore.
Crystal Palace is typically known as the buffet with the characters, but obviously that won't be part of the experience currently. It'll be a prefix meal and there was no mention of character, correct?
Not that I saw.
Yeah,
but I would expect it to be a lot like how they were doing Mickey's Halloween Dine at the studios. If they were to have characters where they just kind of, it's really wide pathways and they just kind of walk by waving.
Right.
But you get to pick an entree. It's very similar to how a cruise ship restaurant would work. You pick the entree, you pick the appetizer, you pick the dessert, and the drink, and then but it's all prepaid, or not prepaid, but one price.
And as Jeffrey points out, that adorable lunchbox location will also
Woody's
be
lunchbox
back at the studios.
Jeffrey also points out that I had an awesome segue.
Yeah,
it's an awesome sequel for a second. I'm like, sequel to what?
Tony, I'm not sure if you know how cruising works, but if you're only picking one appetizer, one entree, and one dessert, you're not doing it right.
Wrong.
You guys know my experience with cruises. I had to contain myself because I was there for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point. You've been on a ship in one cruise a lot longer than I have my whole.
Wait, I don't know this story. Did you get trapped on a cruise?
In a way, no. I actually, with another company I worked for at the time, we ran a pop-up shop, so I was aboard the Disney Dream for 6-7 weeks.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
that's not bad.
You can't eat traditional cruise style for 7 weeks.
Really?
Well, let me rephrase. You can, but if I just went crazy for 7 weeks, I wouldn't be here today.
I want to cruise. Sorry.
I know.
those are bad.
Can I do a segue? Because I know it's on the list.
Yes.
And we can't, unfortunately, cruise until at least January of 2021, as all cruises have been suspended through January of next year from Disney Cruise Line.
Okay, so when we pick,
you're not going to hit me with the article, Doobie? Come on.
We want to segue into what we were going to talk about anyway, not just pick any random thing.
No, I like the way Tony did it better. I think we should just spin a wheel and that's what we talk about. I think that'd be worse. So canceled through the end of through January 2021. Okay.
And they keep doing these piecemeal. Obviously, they want to start as soon as they can, but this is the 12th, 15th cancellation announcement they've made.
Well, how many months has this been going on? 8. And then it won a month.
Okay, so fine. I can't add.
Okay. And so people who have been affected will be offered choices of cruise credit or a full refund. So, yeah. Oh.
And as far as I know, I don't see any extension, but I know Disney has been doing it to where they have the very flexible bookings. So if you have to cancel inside the normal window, they're much more accommodating than they normally would be, because everyone understands the difficult situation we're in during these trying times. But together, we can get through it. All right, let's see. We're going back up here because I wanted to talk about some of those Epcot updates. We did a talk already about stuff coming out of the IAPA discussion, so we don't want to go through it all again. But maybe you could just kind of give a quick overview, Tony. Why am I saying that there?
So not the IAPA stuff for the 4th time.
No, we're talking about the fountain.
Okay. Oh, the fountain. I'm so excited. In the D23, that's all it takes. So at the D23 Epcot, the Magic of Possibilities virtual presentation, they talked about some of the things coming to Epcot, namely Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. They spent a good chunk of the presentation on that, talking about the development of that. But in there, they had a few little surprises kind of coming at you, including the opening fountain coming back right there in the park entrance. There you go. And they said that would be the Progress Walls, which is the classiest name for a construction wall I've ever heard. The Progress Walls would be coming down and reveal a new lighting package on both the fountain and Spaceship Earth by the end of the year. So there's only a few weeks left. Let's see it. And then on top of that,
the big thing on top, like kind of over it right here that says, like Epcot or something cool like that.
Oh, I hope not. That was the best birthday present I got in 2007 was when they took that down.
Silver with white lights. You really know how to hit me where it hurts, Donna. Right, go on, Tony.
So, and on top of that, they also announced that all the infrastructure for the upcoming Harmonious will not go in and out of the docking area behind the park, but stay out there all day long because it's so massive and so large that they're actually going to keep the fountains on during the day, kind of to cover it up, but also do these different patterns and stuff to enhance it.
Not to cover it up. They've turned a difficulty into a wonderful guest feature, and you are denigrating it by calling it covering it up.
Well, World of Color, you can sync so you don't see it. Harmonious, you cannot. So they're turning it into an elaborate, beautiful daytime fountain. Is that better?
Much.
Okay. Which I'm actually very excited for because, again, I like fountains.
Me too. I love water features, actually. Big fan of water features.
That's why I was jealous of Mike's California Adventure experience. Just he got to sit by that waterfall, Grizzly Peak, for a while. He couldn't hear us for his life, but
and then
I enjoyed it.
Sorry about that. Do we know anything going on with Tron Light Cycle / Run?
They have not formally updated it, but as our own Jeremiah can attest, they are continuously working on it. So it's definitely still coming, and it's still being worked on. They just haven't given any like updates or formal, hey, this is what's happening. So you can see all the work being done in the canopies going in place now.
Yesterday we debuted a new show here at Laughing Place called Laughing Place In Depth. No, actually it's LP In Depth, but the LP stands for Laughing Place, with Rebecca and Benji, and they talked about Tron because they kind of went through all the theme park projects around the world, and I believe Benji's proclamation was that they plan on completing the outside of the building, the construction they're working on now, and then they'll let it sit there until it's time to put in the show elements and finish the attraction as a whole. So I don't think it's going to be here for the 50th anniversary.
But some of the show elements are already inside it, because before they even encapsulated the building, you could see the recognizers and the charging rings installed along the track.
Yep.
Can you, our CEO, you have to listen. Can you explain this, please?
I was told to dress appropriately for a live stream, so I fancied up a little bit.
There you go. Nothing but the best for Disney Parks Talk Live.
Yep.
I'm wearing
despite the chaos behind me. There's a little bit of chaos up front too.
By the way, that video can be found right here on this YouTube channel. LP In Depth. Benji and I explored the various updates on projects around the world with the Disney parks, whether it was Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai, the U.S. parks, Paris. We let you know what the Disney company has been saying about the various projects that had been previously announced and kind of where are they now in the midst of what's going on.
I am not just a creator here at Laughing Place. I am also a consumer. And I would say LP In Depth is my second favorite show recently. It's really, really good, really high quality. Second only to Barely Necessities.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I've actually gotten numerous messages privately about Barely Necessities. So,
yay! Oh, thank you.
I probably should have passed that on. I'm sorry, but specifically, yeah, I'm sorry.
Cool.
But they make me jealous, so I just decided to keep them to myself.
We'll be back on Wednesday with more Barely Necessities. But I want to talk about food.
I know. Let's get to food because it's past lunchtime.
Because Mike got to go to Knott's where they had amazing food. I know, but now we have this food. So I can see. I'm
sorry.
This is the Orange Bird.
You know what you're doing.
This is some sort of. It was like a white chocolate.
It's a white chocolate like taco thing.
Oh,
like I saw Jeremiah did some stuff with that, and I was like, "What is that?" And he said it's like chocolate mousse. To me, it sounded like, I can't think of a better way to phrase this, so I'm sorry. A dry choco taco?
Yes.
Yeah, but not ice cream. It's just candy and frosting and mousse.
But it sounded yummy. And this Orange Bird looks really tasty, but when you start to eat it, it's a bit the visual is disturbing. I gotta say.
Yeah. What flavor is it?
So it was a bit disturbing. Scroll down. I want to see.
I would love for him to make Orange Bird and you bite in it's like blueberry. Wouldn't that just make you so happy?
No, that would be wrong.
I feel like that would mess with everybody's head.
You have this holiday Mickey cinnamon roll. So it's a beautiful Mickey shaped cinnamon roll drizzled with red and green icing, and then there's this cupcake, and inside it has this hidden chocolate Mickey. I'm sorry, red velvet Mickey, and then on top of that it's like another like confetti cupcake inside there that's covered with dude, it's like a turducken but a cupcake. It's like a cupcake inside a cupcake inside a cupcake. It's so good.
I love how you know this food so well.
I love food. I love holiday food.
There's
the orange bird.
Blueberry orange bird again.
Orange scented mousse chocolate. Go back up.
Yep.
Orange scented mousse chocolate with orange curd.
Oh, I love orange desserts. It sounded good.
I've seen pictures of not the aftermath, but the mid eating, and I can tell you right now, it's not as pleasant as one would enjoy.
It's a terribly disturbing visual to consume, but it looks wonderful.
This sounds good.
I'm not into this yet. I haven't liked chai tea.
I'm not a chai tea guy, but I'm a huge pistachio guy, so
okay.
I would be willing to try pistachio chai tea. That sounds kind of good.
Also, thank you, Amy.
Lots of great food.
And Benji too.
Aw.
Oh, dude, I thought that was Mike's camera right there. Like, why is Mike opening up Klondike donuts? But we recommend you use
that Klondike money.
Klondike donuts. We've got the Let It Snow taco, a sugar cookie taco shell with salted caramel inside. Christmas churros, which we have every year. It's not that exciting. Oh, funnel cake is exciting every year. A Yule log. Yule logs always crack me up.
Oh, see, look at the bow on the. Is that a funnel? No, that's a cherry. Oh, that's a cherry sundae. Oh, chocolate and cherry. I am there.
That's good.
I am a chocolate and cherry. I hadn't seen that one yet. That was
Yuletide Whip. I like the name of that.
Yuletide Whip.
Wishes.
Oh, named after a cruise ship. And then we've got Chippendale Christmas churro.
See, poor Mike.
There's only one of those.
We do this, and I feel bad for Mike.
Mike's looking at this.
Don't care.
I'm used to it. Don't worry.
Ooh, a salted caramel milkshake called
What
Just. Where's that located?
What is this thing supposed to be?
It's a silver sugar churro.
It's like a bent churro into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what? But where do we find this, Juby?
Anti-gravities.
Oh,
Galactic
really?
goodies.
It's not.
I always thought it was anti-gravities.
I thought it was anti-gravities.
I just complimented your show.
So, Cosmic Ray Starlight.
I'm going to go watch Theme Park History 101 now.
Cosmic Starlight Cafe has spicy food. Sriracha aioli on this. Did you see how they burned the bun with a Santa picture? Look, see it's Santa Mickey? They burn it on the bun.
It's neat. I don't like spicy on my sweet, but this looks great. Is that that's got to be frozen, right?
It's not spicy.
I thought you said it was spicy.
It's a churro worth melting for.
Spicy.
Oh.
Up there.
Oh, this.
Spicy. Yes.
Okay.
Down here is not
Some
spicy.
people like spicy on their, like a churro with a hot spice or something.
Yeah, but they haven't done that with these. Okay. These are just delightful with holiday seasonings.
How is this not a frozen churro?
And that one has like
it's a churro worth melting for. Or do you mean temperature-wise frozen?
No, I get it. I'm sorry. Worth melting for. All right. Here we go. And then,
this popcorn bucket is incredible.
That's going to be popular.
It is very, very, very cool.
My other half, who isn't here but is probably watching wherever she is, has been looking for that thing and cannot find it. So I'm assuming once it's back, it's gone.
My friend Anita, who just visited from Ohio, it was very, very happy to have scored one of these, and
nice.
She loves it. She says, Rebecca, it's even better than you would think. I'm like, okay.
And then a Sven sipper cup, because whenever you can't sell a piece of plastic, you either make it open up or throw a straw in it, and it'll go like crazy, as we all know.
He's so cute, Sven.
All right, that's the food. That was exciting. And speaking of food and holiday food, I could have done that so much better. I'm so disappointed. Speaking of holiday food, our own Mike Celestino is back because he got to go to Knott's Merry Farm for their Christmas festivities. Mike, tell us all about it.
Taste of Knott's Merry Farm. I'm going to say something very controversial to the Laughing Place audience.
Oh.
Knott's Berry Farm did a way, 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 way better job than Disneyland Resort in successfully making the best of a terrible situation this year. Their events have been above and beyond what I expected, especially these last two, the Taste of Halloween and the Taste of Merry Farm. The decorations were amazing. The lights were fantastic at night. The character stuff it just blew me away. I can't say enough good things about this event. We had a terrific time on Saturday. My wife and I attending this, and we love Knott's already, but this one, just great, just fantastic.
They're Cedar Fair, right? That's the parent company. I feel like they kind of gave up on the notion of opening as a theme park again more quickly, and so started to invest more as in the location as a set piece.
Yeah, that's true.
Was that a maintenance bay?
And
go back.
So, no, the picture with the ride vehicle that you were at.
This one?
Yes, it looks like it.
Oh, it's a gift shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a gift shop. They just have one of the roller
It looks like a
coaster-
garage. I'm like, are they just letting you in the areas and the maintenance areas now?
No. But with following Mike's adventures,
I love that fountain. Sorry.
at Knott's Berry Farm. It's been amazing to see it transform. Like I say, from a place where you go to ride coasters and enjoy food to a place where you enjoy food, and they have these beautiful decorations, and slowly they've ramped up the accompanying entertainment as well. Can you share with us more? I want more about the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, so what they did, in the last 5 years at Knott's Berry Farm, they started doing this thing called Ghost Town Alive, which, 5. So Ghost Town Alive is like living theater. It's like immersive theater at the Ghost Town area of Knott's Berry Farm. Self-explanatory. But what happens at Ghost Town Alive over the summer is you'll show up and they populate the town with all these characters and you can interact with them. But not only that, there's like this story that plays out throughout the day. Ghost Town Alive is one of my favorite things happening in theme parks recently. But in this lockdown year, when they can't run any of the rides and stuff and they can't have up close interactions, they've kind of implanted those characters and the performers who play those characters in like balconies around Ghost Town looking down on you. And for the Christmas version of all that, for Taste of Merry Farm, they did a Christmas Carol. So they had Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge. They had Bob Cratchit there, and they put that sign up there, the Scrooge and Marley Counting House. You can go up, see where that rope is. That's as close as you can get. And he's wearing the mask there because he's almost at eye level with you, except for like 2 steps up. But you can talk with him, and he'll interact with you as Bob Cratchit. And Ebenezer Scrooge does the same. This is the ghost of Christmas past, talking down with the guests. And then my favorite, this guy plays the deputy mayor of Calico in Ghost Town Alive. And for this event, he's the ghost of Christmas present. And he's just perfect as that role. And this is right at the entrance of Ghost Town. So he's like greeting all the guests as they come in with his like booming voice. And he keeps using that line like, come closer and know me better, from the Dickens story. And then you go to the graveyard like you saw in that next picture. And after dark, there's projections on the walls around you with Jacob Marley and the ghost of Christmas yet to come. And one of the gravestones is Ebenezer Scrooge's gravestone, and it lights up, and it's just fantastic. This is imaginative. This is creative. Disneyland Resort has done nothing like this year. They've basically gave up, and this is great. And this is why I love Knott's, because they work with what they have, and they go above and beyond what you would expect from them, and I think that's fantastic.
I was watching you wander the streets of Knott's and interact with these characters out of the classic Dickens tale was so enviable. I can't even tell you when you were talking to Bob Cratchit and you offered regards or concern for Tiny Tim, and it was so neat to see that. And then I didn't know about these additional elements you're talking about with the gravestone and that's so, just like to step into that story in that way. This is so cool. And then the food looked amazing. I'm all about food. So
yeah, and that's one element that I am unable to enjoy myself because I have crazy food allergies. But when you buy admission to this event, you get a tasting card upon entry, and you get 5 items included with the tasting card from both. Okay, I have it here. Yeah, so this is the tasting card. and they scan your QR code or whatever, and you can pick 5 of these. But if you want to purchase more, obviously you can. But my wife got to get 10 because I can't have any. So we did take pictures and put up pictures of all the food that we tried. And yeah, I'm sure that it's all very tasty and it's all themed to the holiday as well. And yeah, that's just one element of the whole package. There's the food, the entertainment with the characters, and then the decorations and the lights. I was blown away, really. I was so impressed with what they did, and they didn't have to do as much as they did, but they really went above and beyond.
They had this over the top dessert. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, that's called Blitzen's Christmas tree or something.
What is that?
This is the one I really want to try. It's tater tots with Thanksgiving dinner on top.
That looks amazing.
Tater tots with stuffing, turkey, and cranberry, and that just sounded like
that looks so good.
Yeah, this is the one that I would have really wanted to eat if I could eat it, but my wife doesn't like cranberry, she doesn't like stuffing, and she doesn't like turkey, so she only ate the tater tots.
It looked good. And then they had something similar that was like turkey dinner in a bite. It was a bite-sized little ball that was the turkey and the everything like inside too. And I was like, oh. And then the drinks, I saw that they had a boysenberry sangria, which I love it when Knott utilizes their boysenberries and just about anything. It looked like they had a kind of a sweet and spicy chicken wing that they were also doing with, I'm guessing they utilized their boysenberry in that, but maybe it was cranberry because of the season. But yeah, oh no, the food, just everything that was on that list. Oh, Save the Tortugas is saying that the beef empanadas were amazing. So there you go, beef empanadas. But yeah, I was very jealous. It made me want to jump on a plane.
Just looking at your article here, I mean, just to see, dang it, I just had to talk about that.
What are you trying to pull up?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
I realize the rides are closed, obviously, but just the way they put put these things in the rides.
Yeah.
So you could see what they would look like if they were.
So if you go back and look at my coverage of the Taste of Halloween event, all these rides, these like kiddie rides in the Camp Snoopy area, they had put skeletons in them for the Halloween one. And these figures are just the skeletons dressed up as elves with beards. And there's this weird joke. This must be like an inside joke where they're all named. So the skeletons all had Knott's name tags that were Kevin. And now the elves are named Kelvin.
Right,
I don't know the joke, but it's got to be something among the Knotts.
It's like the president's name of the park, Kevin or something.
I have no idea.
That's what I think it's an homage to. Yeah,
it could be.
I think they're having a little bit of fun with
So
their leadership team.
So this is called Taste of Mary Farm, right, Mike?
Knott's Taste of Mary Farm, yeah, and it's one of those things that, you know, I think they're sold out on every weekend through the season, but there are days left in the week. But if it wasn't sold out on a weekend day, I think I would consider like buying another pass and going back. That's how much I enjoyed just being there for this, because it was so well done.
Yeah, we watched the live stream and I was jealous.
Like the other things that they've done at Knott's during this time, you have to pay for the taste to get in. Yes. It is $40 for 5 tastes. That gets you into the park and gets you 5 tastes, as Mike said. Just to give you an idea, get your tickets early. As Mike said, lots of dates are sold out. All the weekends are sold out. As you can see, there are lots of sellouts here. So
at Christmas Eve, though, you can go.
Yeah, Mike can't recommend this highly enough. So
I think it's great, and I would definitely do it again if I had the opportunity.
And I would even say, based on my experience going to their event before all of this shutdown happened, and then now seeing everything that Mike has been bringing us in this COVID era, as this continues, I wouldn't hesitate when they present whatever they do after Taste of Mary Farm. I wouldn't hesitate to buy into whatever it is. No, first of all, knowing popularity, and then given its track record, I would not want to miss out on it, because
I really hope that we can get back to some kind of normalcy by the summertime, because I miss Ghost Town Alive so much. That's just one of my absolute favorite things to do as part of my job. So I hope we can get back to being able to do that on some level this summer. But yeah, even if we don't, I'm sure they'll come up with something creative to fill in that gap.
Now, if you didn't eat all the, or if you didn't fill up on the 5 tastes, could you get more while you're there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can buy additional food, obviously, on top of what you get with your card. They'll take your money. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, and then Calico Mine Train is having an anniversary, and they released some new celebratory merchandise around that, a guidebook, like a certificate to the mine, and things like that. So really leaning into celebrating the history of the park. And I know that there was probably going to be a lot more fun with Berry Tales coming. And all that kind of thing. So I'm glad they're still able to, bring that merchandise to the fan base during this time right now.
Yeah, it's a bummer that Jeremiah couldn't make it to this live stream, because I had to remind him he owes me $33 for buying some of this stuff for him. But yeah, if you don't know the Calico Mine Train, the Calico Mine Ride is a classic dark ride attraction at Knott's. It's very groundbreaking. A lot of the Disney stuff is inspired by some of the stuff they did at Knott's, and that celebrated its 60th anniversary. And then, if you saw the images there, they unveiled the queue area and the entrance for the Knott's Berry Tales upgrade that they're doing. That probably will open whenever the park is allowed to go back to its normal operations. But nobody's been on this attraction yet. It's pretty much ready to go.
I'm very excited.
One thing we know for sure, it'll be better than Kingdom of the Dinosaur.
No.
No.
Maybe.
Back up, Tony.
That's subjective. No, I was looking at the purple. My other half always wanted to know why there was so much purple. We watched the live stream, and I had to explain Knott's and the boysenberry.
Yeah.
Boysenberry.
Boysenberry.
That's the berry and Knott's Berry Farm.
Yep.
There's this coffee from Barney's Coffee in Central Florida. It's called like Very Berry something, and whenever I have it, I think of Knott's Berry Farm, because it's the berry flavor, and the label on it is a purple. I get all my coffee century from Central Florida because I got addicted to Barney's while we lived there. And so whenever I have this coffee, I think of Knott's Berry Farm. It's really good. I'm almost out. I have to order more. But enough of my problem.
And speaking of problems that aren't really problems,
okay.
Hong Kong Disneyland had a beautiful castle with just the most beautiful castle back. I know, Tony. that was weak. It wasn't even this good. It was this good.
I was being nice. You said some nice things about me earlier. I'm trying to repay.
Has everyone seen Tony's article on Toy Story's 25th anniversary? Very good article. I learned a lot.
And Tangled, I can't wait for his Tangled.
That's tomorrow. I actually just finished that right before this. That'll be hitting tomorrow for the 10th anniversary.
I think she's my favorite of the modern princesses.
And speaking of anniversaries, Hong Kong Disneyland just had its 15th. Thank you. And to celebrate,
Did I get an assist?
The layup.
Yes, you do. To celebrate, they have changed out their castle.
It's really beautiful the way that they've brought together. Like, okay, I know Tony's going to argue with me on this.
No, I was arguing more with the change up the castle. I'm like, did they change it or stack on top of it?
First of all, in watching the video,
You're right. I didn't even notice that.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, but go on.
In watching the video and all the talk of the modular construction, I couldn't help but be thrown into the era of, oh, wow, finally the contemporary pays off. But right? But what they did was they took elements of each of the princesses, and now they've incorporated their story and icons from their tale, their culture, their kind of the overarching folklore, and they've added it to this castle. And so now it's the Castle of Magical Dreams, right? I've got the
that's right. Yeah. There's 14 different stories, isn't it?
You know what? I keep forgetting how many there are now because there's so many princesses. There's a lot of them in there.
Wow, that's a lot of princesses.
Yeah, no, because you've got the classics, you've got the modern, you've got a lot. Yeah,
Ariel, Belle, Aladdin.
Very good.
That one.
Okay, I'm guessing Mulan.
Merida.
No, that's
That
not. The sun is not Merida. Oh boy, I'm
No,
gonna
no,
have
not
to
the
educate
sun.
you.
That's
Oh,
Captain
oh,
America.
It's a like a archery.
Oh, this is Rapunzel, right?
yes, that would be Rapunzel.
I would see if it was tomorrow, I would have known that. What's this one?
That's the. I'm unsure which crown goes with which princess. I'll be honest.
Based on the colors behind it, I would guess Cinderella.
And
No,
what's the slipper?
no, I think it's. I'm wondering if it's No, yeah, because Cinderella's up at the top.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's-
there's a slipper then. Yeah, never mind.
yeah. I hadn't sat down. I'm wondering if it's
Moana?
Tiana.
No, Moana's the swirl next to the slipper.
I'm wondering if it's Tiana because it's near this
Oh.
lily. But that's just a total
Isn't
guess. at
Tiana
this
green?
point.
Then what's? Oh, you said
No,
this
that's
is Moana,
Moana.
though.
Yeah,
The
that's
swirl. It's the heart of Tafiti. Come on.
What is this one? Sorry if I don't know my Pixar movies. What's this one right here?
Is is that the colors of the wind? Is she?
Oh, Pocahontas?
Wait, is she on? Is she featured among these? I haven't looked.
It
at
looks
all
like leaves.
Is that supposed to be Beauty and the Beast? Or no, that's the one above the lamp. Never mind.
Beauty and the Beast is up there. See, now we get to sit
All
down
right.
here and figure all these out.
What a fun castle! A fun castle of magical dreams.
Where did it go? There was a list. Oh, you don't have the list right here? Okay.
Doobie, can you put just a picture of the castle,
13 stories, by the
preferably
way.
from the front?
A picture of the castle?
Castle, yeah, from the front, preferably. Can
Yeah.
you zoom in a little bit? But you see it, right?
Oh, once you said it, I saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And like you said, you can't unsee it. And
Because Hong Kong Disneyland famously opened with a clone of Sleeping Beauty Castle from the original Disneyland in California. And there was a lot of kind of controversy for no reason about that. And when Shanghai opened, they decided we need to plus up our castle. And they did by taking the Sleeping Beauty Castle and plussing it up.
I'm
I'm taking over right here. Thank you, Benji. Thank you. That's why the vein came out, and that's why I turned red a little bit.
So yeah, so featured in the castle are Cinderella, Tiana, Aurora, Ariel, Merida, Snow White, Moana, Anna and Elsa, Belle, Mulan, Rapunzel, Pocahontas, and Jasmine. These are all the princesses featured. So
I'm going to say Frozen.
No. Frozen is a snowflake. That is Tiana.
This is Tiana?
Yes,
Where's the
this-
snowflake? This one?
Yes.
Okay. And this is Pocahontas, then we agree.
Yes.
Okay. We got them all.
Yes.
Nailed it.
So it's Cinderella,
Yay.
Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Anna and Elsa, Moana.
Anna and Elsa should have each gotten their own circle.
No, I think we're okay.
I think I think it's nice they threw in Anna.
Yeah, really.
I mean, come on.
That's a good point.
Like,
That's a good
it's
point.
thoughtful.
All right, before we close out today, do either our Central Florida expert or our Southern California expert or
So I was 80% of an expert.
my marrying partner expert want to add anything to this stream?
I can't think of anything. I think we've touched on a lot of stuff, but I've also been talking about a lot of stuff, so I'm unsure what I haven't talked about here. Yes. No.
Oh wait, do we want to talk about the Spider-Man thing? The Spider-Man robot?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
That
they're gonna
happened
be-
like an hour ago. Go on.
I know.
I know this is news
So-
to me. Enlighten us.
Starting early next week, I think Monday, they're going to be selling one of the spider robots from the Web
Spider
Slingers Spider-Man attraction at Avengers Campus, plus some other Avengers Campus merchandise for annual pass holders. And then on Friday that week, after Thanksgiving week, you can get it even if you're not an annual pass holder.
They have little controllers.
Now, there's a video because it actually moves and it's pretty cool when it moves.
I'm on
and
our
they
way.
fight. You can like attack each other with it somehow. So yeah, it'll be fun. So you have like a little controller. The controller looks very similar to the layout of the controllers for the droids. The similar toggling and whatnot, but they can battle.
Cool. You
And then
think?
see, you blew his head off.
It looks like the battling is just them looking at each other though. Like how are they actually battling?
So it will be interesting to see what is that?
That's my DJ Rex
Yeah.
droid.
Oh, your
controller.
DJ Rex droid. See, our my Do droid looks very different than that. It looks much more like this layout. My Do.
Do we have faith that these things will stay faithful to the controller and not just turn on us at some point?
Spoilers. Nobody's been on that ride yet, Doobie.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm glad you
Do
brought
you have
that
your
up.
reservation yet, Mike?
They don't. The reservations open up on Thursday, I think, or Wednesday. Sorry, day before Thanksgiving, the 25th. You can get your reservation.
The current reservation was for an experience that's going to share the Dooney and Burke purses. One celebrates legendary cats, and the other one celebrates legendary dogs. So those are both. Uh-oh. Yeah, no, they're very cute. They're very cute bags. Different style. So, the Disney cats that you've seen before, but with a different appearance than we've seen previously from Dooney and Burke. So
that's the one that's going to cost me money for a Christmas present for someone.
Which cats or dogs?
The dogs.
The dogs. I love it with Copper right there in the front, and then Little Brother.
Little Brother
and the Castle Doghouse.
And
is there a backside?
I don't know that we had an image of the backside.
Okay.
So, Juby is now scrolling down to see. But
the backside.
Yeah,
it looks like it. Yep.
With Percy.
Percy made the cut.
Dodger too.
Who's the dog with the
Is that Cusco?
The Roman looking gear, like the
No, that's I know the answer to that, but I don't think of
what movie?
From Emperor's New Groove?
It's not Emperor's New Groove.
Looks like Kang.
I'm not sure. Where's Ben? Ben is LP's resident dog expert.
Stella from The Princess and the Frog.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Yep.
That's Stella from Princess and the Frog.
That would help.
It's right there on the page.
Whoever wrote this article. Good job.
I'm going into like my character archive here.
It
was right in front of us.
That's awesome. I love it.
I'm thrilled they have Nana too.
And they have mittens from Bolt in the cats, among the cats. So you have a few of the lesser known felines and canines.
So I'm gonna shamelessly plug again my Tangled article tomorrow. I talk more about the origins of Tangled when it was known by another title called Rapunzel Unbraided, and in that I briefly mention another movie called American Dog, which became Bolt, and that might be another future article in the future, like I just said. But just the fact that it came up again, I'm like, oh, American Dog. Right? I very much would have wanted to see American Dog before it became Bolt.
American Dog it's always said with a sigh, right? You can't just say American. Yep. It's American Dog. Yep.
That was Chris Sanders, right?
Yes.
That was Chris Sanders.
My wife Stitch was the first time I've seen my wife just fall head over heels for a Disney character. And we were doing LP then, so she was immersed in Stitch with all the publicity and stuff.
Yeah.
And she fell for Chris Sanders so hard.
Yeah.
And that was our first red carpet ever. And that was we thought a red carpet got you in the movie.
No, we were told. We were told.
We were told. Don't get me wrong. But
20 years later.
And luckily our rep was there, and so they got us in. So then we went to the after party, got to meet Chris Sanders. That may have been peak LP. Other than Wayne and Ruthie, that may have been peak LP. Was going to
Mike, we're not part of peak LP.
Dave Winfield pushed us out the way.
Yeah.
At the buffet line.
Yeah. No, that was an amazing and such a creative storyteller, and his art and I was not at all. The marketing campaign for Stitch had totally turned me off. I had no interest in it. And then I went to a single celebration, presentation by the creative team, and Benji will tell you, and my brother will tell you, and Juby will tell you, I am a sucker for introduce me to the creative team, and they share the heart of the story. I'm done. Yep. It doesn't matter. I'm in now.
I think that's. Do you? We're not going to get completely into this, but do you know about American Dog?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that. Oof.
Yeah.
I was crying at the storyboard. And I found a piece of art while I was looking for Rapunzel Unbraided that I haven't seen since the presentation I went to back then. And for American Dog, and I saved it. It's on my computer now.
Okay. So
I'll Slack it to you. I was just like, oh.
It'll talk. We have to really chat about this now.
Yep.
But I'm so excited to hear. I'm so excited to read your piece on Tangled, because
hear it.
I really enjoyed. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed that film, and I'm interested to learn more about how it came to be and what we did not get, because I know it was troubled. Is that the right word? Troubled?
I'll say troubled.
Okay. So yeah.
I don't say troubled in the article, but I definitely kind of like.
Yeah. Yeah, so it had an interesting history, and I really appreciated where they've taken it since too, with the storylines that they've continued. on the TV show and comics and everything.
Yeah, Tangled is a fantastic film. But anyway, taking it back, going back to Chris Sanders, he left Disney, went on to do a lot of great things, How to Train Your Dragon, everything like that. Joe Rohde, he's retiring. Let's see what he does.
Exactly.
Now
That's
that he's
why
leaving Disney.
Said.
Look at that circle.
It's an interesting. It's always sad for us as fans when people leave the company and go elsewhere as far as like the Disney properties go.
Yep.
But it's exciting on the other hand because now you'll get to see what comes from them now that they aren't under that umbrella. And I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds with Joe Rohde's creativity.
Yes, Mike.
See also Ghost Town Alive at Knott's Berry Farm.
Was somebody Disney did that?
Oh yeah, this guy Ken Parks, who left Disney Imagineering to go to Knott's, and
And I'm asking you, Tony, not to mention a name, but Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, another. Okay, so
All right.
lots of wonderful Disney park news that we've been able to share with you. What's happening elsewhere on LP?
Dude,
Do you
good
know?
question.
I
Of
know
course
tomorrow
I know.
at 7:30, Tuesday at 7:30 on Laughing Place will be Disney Trivia Live, hosted by Doobie and my son Gideon.
All times are Pacific, of course.
On Wednesday, I will be back with Becca Burbank to discuss Disney. I'm talking slowly because Doobie's trying to load a page.
It's not loading, but this is my favorite Chris Sanders fact. His wife's name was Chris Sanders.
That was so much fun.
It's not popping up, but trust me, it was true.
Yeah, your computer just slowed down, Matthew.
wait, that was her name before they got married, or her name was?
That was her name before they got married, wasn't it?
I can't recall how it came to be. I don't remember all the ins and outs.
Okay, because if both their names were just Chris, that's not as impressive as if her name was actually Chris Sanders.
My memory was that
Sanders.
yes, it did not have to change with marriage.
She became Chris Sanders.
Yeah.
Right. Later on today, by the way, we forgot today.
forgot.
2 short hours. We are going to, and this one I'm going to get right, Tony. We're going to be doing LP Movie Club with Pixar's Planes.
No, you didn't get it right. You didn't get it right. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Goodbye, everybody.
Right.
Enjoy the time.
Shut up.
I feel like we need to talk Tony into coming on that sometime because we're talking about animated film.
I know. It's plain.
Well, that's a different. I've avoided that one for a reason. But I will be in attendance for Soul. I was kind of like, oh, well, I actually watched Soul on Christmas. And then our CEO was like, are you joking? You're going to watch Soul. By the time we do that, you have 4 days. I know you will watch it. And that's true. I have.
I'm going to be talking Planes tonight with Ben and I suspect Alex as well, but I don't know for sure. I haven't seen the list.
And then tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, Barely Necessities.
Yep.
Okay, good. Wasn't sure you knew that.
No.
And then 7:30 Disney Trivia Live. And then Wednesday we've got Marvel time. And then it's Thanksgiving. We're actually going to take some time off. However, we do have a video debuting at noon on Thanksgiving. I should have had the image ready. If my computer wasn't so slow right now, it'd be great to show. Our annual, here, let me give it a shot.
That's actually a live event.
You're right. It is a live event.
We share a video of the announcement. Well, we share the announcement, and then we discuss it.
You're right.
We debate it.
Have we voted on that already?
No, it's going to be a busy week.
It's in process right now. We're in process.
But we haven't said what it is yet. I want to debut it with proper picture.
Yeah.
Technically, Benji kicked me out for the holiday. This is the last you're going to hear of me until after Turkey Day. So I don't understand why I haven't heard about this yet.
Apparently, you're not in it.
Yeah,
I guess not.
For senior personnel.
Yeah.
That's right. Tony Betty, junior personnel.
Those of you who are still here while we...
The 2020 Laughing Place Turkey of the Year featuring a new logo. Cannot wait.
Who drew that?
Woo-hoo! Gobble, gobble, gobble. Our dearly talented friend, Jeff Finkel.
Yes, same guy who does
the Disney Trivia Live
Disney
logo.
Trivia Live and anything we ask him to do.
And he's been a regular contributor and participant with Laughing Place since nearly day one. So he's been around a long time. We've known Jeff quite a while. Any Walt Disney World walk around?
I don't believe we have any this
I don't think it's... Oh, there we go. Epcot on Friday, Jeffrey.
Oh, thank you.
So
and if you can't wait till Friday, there's an almost 2-hour walk around of Jeremiah doing both parks at Universal from earlier today. that's available
That
for
was a long
replay on YouTube.
That was a long one.
And Mike's walk around the Maryberry Festival, the Taste of Mary Farm at the Knott's Taste of Mary Farm was really, really awesome. So please check that out. That was on Saturday morning.
Correct.
I think,
Saturday,
yeah.
1 p.m. No.
Yeah.
Yes, Saturday, 1 p.m.
So be sure to check that out as well and see what Knott's offers. And that way, if you haven't booked a ticket for this one, keep it in mind for the future.
And not theme park related, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you have to see the Mando Monday that these two did earlier, especially the recap of episode 4, which I won't say the name of, episode 12, which I won't say the name of in case you haven't seen it yet, but they do a spoiler-filled recap. That's awesome, and that's how I like to relive my Mandalorian Friday with Mando Monday with these two. Recommend that. But in short, we have tons of live stuff on Laughing Place. You don't want to miss it because, as you can see, it's all about having a good time with our favorite company and Universal. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell. Stay tuned with all the cool stuff we've got coming. Thank you, Tony, for filling in. Thank you, Mike, as always. Thank you to my lovely and talented wife. And thank you to myself because I like me too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.